Hey guys, I hope everyone is having a great and wonderful day as always, guys. You know, it's funny because right now I have five huge pieces of Moldavite on me right now. I got one right here. Boom. There's a big one right here. Then I got another one. Let's see if I can get some more light. Here. That's number two. I have number three. It's another piece. I have number four, right? Number four and number five. Guys, let me tell you, these five pieces of Moldavite, it's a lot of Moldavite. And I really want to make this update because there has been so much that's been going on since I've had these five pieces. And I actually got two pieces of these big chunk of Moldavite last week when you guys saw my video. But I also went back again and I got three more pieces. So now I have five big chunks of Moldavite, not including, right, the other 12 pieces that I have, some of the more smaller ones, the more smaller pieces of Moldavite, and even not also including my other, I think it was 25 pieces, 30 pieces actually, of little itty bitty, little bitty pieces of Moldavite. So right now I'm working with just the big chunks, guys, because let me tell you, it is a lot. It is a lot to handle all at once. And I really want to share with you my experience that I've been having with these five pieces this week because it has been so intense. Um, Words can't even describe it because it's just been so intense. And I actually wore these to school and inside the classroom. And let me tell you guys, I feel like I am on another level, right? And what I mean by another level is like I feel like I'm in a whole different realm inside my head when I'm wearing all five of these pieces of Moldavite, and it's really, really, really intense. And what I really feel, guys, is like I'm catapulted into another dimension. And I know I was talking about this earlier in one of my videos, and I really want to clarify that when I talk about dimensions, I'm not necessarily talking about maybe the word dimension and what maybe you guys have read online or anything like that. Like I'm really explaining it from my own experience, and for me, what dimension means, right? For me, how I describe and see a dimension is really just a realm of heaven, right? And the higher I go up in those dimensions, the more I feel like I'm in heaven. And that's what I really mean when I say dimension, right? It's not like this other stuff that you've been reading online, probably, about, I don't know. I used to do a lot of research on that, but let's just clear the air. I'm not going based on what I read. I'm truly basing this off my experience. And when I mean dimension, I'm talking about heaven dimension. What level am I on where I'm closer to being in heaven, being in that heavenly realm? And that to me is what I mean by dimension. And so in class this entire week, I've literally felt like I've been in a heavenly dimension where I literally feel like my mind is in heaven, where my whole being feels like it's in heaven, where I feel like I'm in God's presence 24/7. Okay, and I love that feeling. Before I started wearing Moldavite, I mean, I would feel God's presence and I would know when He was around. There would just be days when I just really felt his presence. And the best way that I can describe feeling that presence continuously now is by wearing these five pieces of Moldavite on me every single day. And then so I'm constantly in this realm, this dimension of heavens, just frequency. And I've been walking like this now since for a whole week since I've gotten these five chunks of Moldavite. And I'm super excited, guys, because it feels really good. It feels really great. One thing that I have noticed that kind of would bring a little bit of caution is, maybe with driving, right? As I've been wearing these five pieces of Moldavite, I noticed that while I'm driving, I feel like my head's in the clouds. And I am using grounding stones and I am staying grounded. But there's something so powerful about these five. I don't know how to explain it, guys, but all I can say is that I literally feel like I'm in heaven. I feel God's presence with me everywhere that I go. And sometimes I just need to take a step back and just remind myself that I'm still here on earth, right? I literally feel like I've catapulted my spirit into heaven. And all this is happening inside me. It's an inner journey, it's an inner change that's happening inside me where I literally feel like this. And I really want to share this with people because I don't know if you're going to go through this or not, but I am going to share with you my experience because this is one thing that I haven't read anybody else go through. And the more that I read, the more that I do investigating about Moldavite, the more I realize that everyone's journey is just so different, right? And that's what I really want to share in this video is that everyone's journey is different. It really is. Like, depending on what else you're doing while you're working with Moldavite, your journey is going to be so different. And one thing, though, that I still notice that Moldavite still does for me, even now, is purging, right? There's just so much purging that goes inside my life. And now that I'm working with these 5 huge tektites, right, I notice that I'm going through another purge, but it's not from the past. It's not from anything, you know, I would say recent. It's just more of taking me now to a higher frequency. I'm being taken now to a higher frequency, and um, and as I'm going through those changes, as I'm moving to another frequency, to a higher frequency, and what I mean by going to a higher frequency is just thinking on a different level, thinking um, and engaging in activities that are higher frequency, that have more light, that have more energy, that have more love, that have more joy, right? When I talk about moving into a higher frequency like that, it's aligning me now with things that I no longer resonate because Moldavite is super powerful, okay? Like, Moldavite is a really high frequency tektite. And with these 5 chunks, guys, I notice now that I'm going through another cleanse, another purge. And to me, I'm even in the middle of that cycle right now where I'm going through that purge and I'm going through those changes. But I realize, guys, that it's all working for my good, okay? And I noticed that this week, as I was wearing it at school, I noticed that when I started wearing all of these pieces together, right? First of all, I felt like I was in heaven. I was in like that high dimension, um, eighth, ninth, 10th dimension, right? Um, and like I said, it's not probably exactly what it means to you, but what I mean by eighth, ninth, 10th dimension is just levels. It's how I measure levels of how closer I am to heaven's frequency and what frequency I am, um, you know, being closer to heaven. And so, anyways, guys, while I was in school and I was wearing this, I noticed that when I wore it, literally people it was just really separating me from people that I didn't need to be around. And now it was connecting me with people at a higher frequency, right? And people who are more happy, people who are more clean, people who are more, organized, people who are just like me almost. And so to me, that was something that really showcased itself this week as I was working with these 5 pieces of Moldavite, is that it was really taking me away, right? Disconnecting me from entities that were maybe lower frequency. Um, and I could literally feel that push, right? I could feel that resistance when I was trying to meet with these old people, and more of a pull with meeting with the right people because we just, there was an alignment. There was an alignment that we just felt like we were connected. And I hope this video is making sense, guys, because I do have these 5 pieces of Moldavite on me. And right now I feel like I don't know. I'm in a transition right now. So thank you guys for being patient with me as I'm going through this transition. I'm showing you guys how to get through it. And so, as I'm going through this transition where I'm now moving to another frequency because I have my gosh, if you guys, man, it's a lot of Moldavite. Okay? And so as I'm going through this transition, as I'm going through these changes, I realize that, like I said, I was disconnecting from old people, right? And I could feel it. It's almost like, ugh, like we just don't connect on that same level anymore. And now I'm connecting with new people that are, you know, they get straight A's, or they know what they're doing with their life. It's just aligning myself with people that are related to my purpose and just keep moving forward. I definitely have noticed that shift this week, and I noticed that I'm going through another purge as well. There's just so many things, so many questions for me that are coming up that I'm looking for answers now, um, which I already know I have, but it's like I still need to go through that process. I need to go through that releasing. I need to go through that purge, and just seeing what is now ready to birth itself through me now that I have all this Moldavite, now that it's taking me now to a higher level. And so I'm going through that transition right now, guys. I really wanted to share that with you in case you guys are thinking about getting more Moldavite. I definitely recommend getting big chunks, right? Get some big chunks because it's just you feel it, right? You definitely feel it. Um, I'm feeling this a lot right now. My gosh. Oh, it's a lot of Moldavite. I don't know if you guys can feel it, but I can feel it. Like my head is just going through a major purge right now. And so I'm going through this, guys. I really wanted to share this with you so you guys, if this is something you guys are going to go through, like if this is something that you guys have to go through on your journey, I just want to share that with you. That way, you guys know how to kind of get through it and kind of what to expect. But like I said, the more and more that I do research on Moldavite, the more that I read people's testimonies who have worked with Moldavite, there's just so many different stories, so many different experiences, and that's why I just want to share mine because mine is different. It is unique. I am doing this with God. I'm not just going at this just with Moldavite. I'm letting God lead me as I'm working with the Moldavite, and that's where I really want to make that distinction where this is who I am, right? I am a Christian, and I'm doing my best to be a Christian. Um, I'm not saying I'm perfect and I get it right 100% of the time, but I have a willing heart to do what God's called me to do and to become the person God's called me to be. And I am using Moldavite as that tool to help me get there to facilitate those changes. Um, but yeah, like I said, I'm not just all about spirituality. I'm not just all about, this whole other spectrum of things that are going on. Um, and so, yeah, I really just wanted to clarify that as well. Just kind of like my personal journey. If you guys resonate with this, then gosh, that's awesome. And if you don't, that's fine as well. Like, we all are here to walk our journey, we are all here to walk out our purpose. And so, that's what I really wanted to share as well, guys. This is just my journey with God, with Moldavite, and what it's doing for me in my life. And so, this is where I'm at right now, guys. I'm in the middle of a transition. I really still wanted to share this with you guys because it's amazing. Like every time I know I'm going through a transition, I'm going to go through a major release. Then I'm probably going to feel empty for a couple of days, and then God's going to fill me back up with new light, with new love, with new joy. And but I'm really excited about that, and I really wanted to share this with you guys because, like I said, one of the major things that I have been noticing this week is just feeling like I'm on a super high dimension. 10th dimension is how I kind of like to see it. Heavenly realm dimension, right? I feel like I'm just like in heaven right now. I feel God's presence with me everywhere. I've been noticing I've been disconnecting from, I guess lower frequency entities and connecting with higher ones. And yeah, I'm just going through that purge, guys. So I really wanted to share that with you guys. Um, and I'm actually kind of curious, right? I'm actually kind of curious how many of you guys have these big chunks of Moldavite? And how long have you guys been working with this? And what have been your experiences, right? Um, because right now this is what's working for me. I don't even need to mix it in with any other crystals or any other Herkimer diamonds. I don't need to mix it right now with anything. Like this is just enough for me. Like right now, guys, this is all I need. It's doing its job. Just straight pure moldavite, and the only thing I'm using as a grounding stone is Libyan desert glass, and that's it, guys. It's working for me. I don't need to change it right now. It's working fine. But I'm actually kind of curious if anyone else has also done and worked with this much Moldavite before, and what has been your experience as well. And if you have done that, please feel free to share that below. Um, but like I said, I'm not looking for new ways of doing things right now. What's working right now is working. But yeah, if you guys want to share your story, I love reading people's stories and just what's helped. Not necessarily. Um, Let me clarify this. I love reading people's stories and what their experience has been with Moldavite, but I must clarify that I'm not here to try what you guys have done. I'm just here to share my story, and like I said, I love reading your stories as well. Just because they're fun, it's fun and interesting. So feel free to share your story below. If you have worked with big chunks of Moldavite before, I'm curious to read. I just love reading people's stories, and it's amazing how every story is different. And I love each and every one of you because all of you are special. All of you are loved, and I love you guys, and God loves you. And so, thank you guys so much for sharing your stories. Don't forget to thumbs up this video as well, guys. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe to this channel, guys. And I send you guys so much love. Stay tuned for my next video. I actually want to share with you guys something that I found really interesting, called the Circle Maker. I don't know if you guys have heard of that book or that story before, but I really want to share that with you guys on my next video. This is something that I've actually been using to circle promises that God has given me, and to also circle out fears that I have in my life. And so I'll give you guys more details about that on my next video. But I think if you guys resonate with that, and if that's something you guys want to use, feel free to do so. And so I will leave a link below on my next video where you guys can check that out. So thank you guys so much for watching. I send you guys so much love, and I will talk to you guys very, very soon.